Last week we returned to our usual format: one beer, two opinions, and a completely unnecessary amount of confidence from people who have only just tasted the beer. More importantly, we crowned a new Choose Your Fighter champion. I Could Get Better at Tesco for a Quid now holds the title, proving that all you need to become a champion is a 1-star review, an unusually long name, and a beer good enough to make the original reviewer look increasingly foolish. This week, a new challenger steps forward, hoping to knock it off its oddly specific throne. Welcome to Beer Together. Cue the music. So if you don't know, we have video as well on Spotify and on YouTube for some of our episodes, which means we try and time the gap between saying cue the music and this bit to fit the music. The only way I can do that is by wobbling my head in time to the music, because I'm not. I should just play it at the same time. That would make more sense than me wobbling my head like some named Bobble Man, while Matt just sits there looking at me as if to say, "Are you having a fit? Are you all right?"
Yeah, you have the stroke.
Right, this is your big moment, Matt. What are we drinking today?
We are drinking Steady Rolling Man from DEYA, a brewery in Cheltenham.
Wow, okay, so this is a 5.2%, interestingly, very pink can, 440ml off the top of my head,
Yep.
and it says it is a pale ale. So, without trying to spill this one all over the computer like I did last week, let's give it a go.
Let's give it a go.
Tulip glass with a handle. I hope you appreciate the effort I'm going to.
Oh, very nice. Very nice indeed.
Well,
nice.
So if you'd heard our podcast last week, we talked about the We Are Beer top 50 beers of 2026. This one sits proudly at numero
number one.
Uno. Tell me about it.
So it is a multi-hopped pale ale. Mosaic, Motueka, Amarillo and Idaho 7.
Motueka? I've never heard of Motueka.
Huh. It's
Where's
New Zealand, I think.
Motueka? Sounds Mexican.
I think it's from New Zealand.
I believe
actually,
you.
But yeah, definitely that bit. That's one of the hops. Mosaic's the main hop in it, and is the backbone of the beer. And to the point, it's that important to them that the DEYA brewers go to a farm in Oregon, in America, every year, just to check the hop.
Wow.
So,
Motueka, by the way. And it's Motueka, we're now doing some pronunciation. It's New Zealand hop.
That's what I said, isn't it? Yeah.
From the town of Motueka on the northern coast of New Zealand's South Island, part of the country's main hop growing region. I've Googled it. You can tell. It's best known for a fresh lime, lemon, tropical fruit, and slightly herbal flavours. It's actually brewed originally with a local hop variety crossed with Saz, which is the classic Czech lager hop.
It is.
Motueka.
Yeah.
Sorry, stole your line right there. It's fantastic. So they travel all the way over to Oregon.
Yeah, to have a look at the Mosaic hops.
Okay.
For the Willamette Valley. It's in the Willamette Valley or Willamette Valley.
And DEYA themselves?
Based in Cheltenham. Founded in 2015 by Theo Frayne.
Right.
Liked American beer and likes American culture.
You always skim this bit, and I'm going to point it out on this time because it's still a consistent thread throughout this series. Theo Frayne developed the recipe on a homebrew scale.
Yeah, no, I was about to say this. I was about to say that. So he had a passion for American beer, hoppy beers, American beer culture, and he started as a home brewer. Then bought an industrial unit in 2016, and that's when DEYA was born.
I mean, it's obviously, as we said, it won the We Are Beer Top 50 in 2026, having also won it in 2024. It's not merely a well-liked craft pale ale. It's now a 2-time winner of one of the industry's most visible popularity and expert voted lists ever. It may not be Choose Your Fighter. There's one prize it hasn't currently got, but we might have by the end of the episode. The pineapple feels slightly different in taste to this one. And interestingly, DEYA say that it should be more like tinned pineapple than fresh pineapple.
Rather than fresh pineapple, yeah.
That perhaps we got in our current champion, which is I could get better at Tesco for a quid.
Yeah. I love the idea of this beer because what I'm drinking and what you're drinking may be slightly different.
Go on.
Because every iteration they change the dry hop. So
no.
Yeah. So they dry hop with multiple different types. So Mosaic and Citra, or they'll use Mosaic, Amarillo, an El Dorado or a Zaka. Mosaic, Simcoe and Idaho 7. Nelson, Rakow and Strata are in their special double dry hop edition.
Yeah.
So it's an ever evolving beer, and that's why 2024 and now 2026 it's won again, because it's a different
really
beer
bizarre.
Different beer to it was in 2024.
I can't think of anywhere else where
there was another brewery that does similar, that changes as and when hops come in. They change the
I mean the hops will change it anyway. But I'm thinking about cars of different model shapes over different years, potentially. But you're not going to see I suppose other beers have evolved and then revert back to their original type by rebranding themselves. Carling's the one that's springing to mind at the moment with Carling Black Label out. Actually, according to people who drink Carling, the Carling Black Label now tastes like Carling used to taste 5 years ago, because they've just given it a reason to reprice it to get it back above that, as we said last week, that value level to bring people in. Carling, Carlsberg, all of those gradually drifted down towards nearer the 3%. Well, they are 3% pretty much effectively nowadays, reducing the quality of ingredients going in to keep the price point low.
But also with the drop in ABV, the change in tax comes in.
Yeah.
So keep it below 3% or keep it below 4%, and they get taxed at a different rate. So that's why.
Yeah, and the can's pretty cool. So I was a pink can with I'm going to call that sky blue notes, and Steady Rolling Man with a guitar on the front, which I believe is after Robert Johnson's blues song. Steady Rolling Man, which is very different in naming styles to last week's, where one bad review got them the name of the can. Yeah. Maybe they chose Steady Rolling Man because alarmingly easy to finish at 500 mils was a little less poetic of a name.
So Robert Johnson's quite, if you know your blues, Delta blues from the 1920s and maybe 30s actually.
Yeah, 36.
So that's when Steady Rolling Man was let out. But Robert Johnson's a wonderful figure. He died really young. He died when he was 28. He supposedly sold his soul to the devil to be able to play the guitar, or to be as talented as he was. People who knew him, he played guitar. He was reasonably proficient, nothing outstanding. He disappeared for a short period of time, and when he came back, he was a virtuoso guitarist. He was an amazing guitarist. So the story goes, he went to a crossroads in the middle of the night and met the devil and sold his soul. Hence, then he died young. So that's. I
first came across Steady Rolling Man. My parents liked Eric Clapton, and he had I Shot the Sheriff. It was on the same album, I seem to recall. Steady Rolling Man on 1974 Ocean Boulevard, 461 Ocean Boulevard album. Steady Rolling Man was on there. I am not as au fait with blues music as you are. I know you have a penchant for slightly more offbeat music than me.
Yeah, I do love Delta blues. It's great. And the reason that they call it this is because while they were brewing, they were listening to old blues records.
Brewing in the... Okay, that makes sense. It's a really, really I'm trying to think. We've had a couple of beers where you've told me it's the wheat in it that's made it have a really soft mouthfeel. This has got a
Yeah,
really soft. Repeat myself. It's got a really
yeah,
soft mouthfeel. Is that down to the wheat again,
yeah.
or
It's the torrefied wheat that is this, and there's some oats as well in there, I believe.
right?
Um, so yeah, extra pale malt, flaked oats, torrefied wheat, and carapalis.
Yeah.
I know you're going to ask
It,
me what carapalis is.
no, I'm not. I wasn't
Good.
going to, but I am now. I'm not. What is it? No, anyway, it does give it a really soft mouthfeel. So if you compare it
Yeah,
to last week's, I could get better at Tesco's for a quid, by the pretty decent beer company. That had a bitterness and a harsher mouthfeel than this does. It's a
yes,
bit like you've
yeah,
poured pineapple juice through a really expensive pillow. It's soft, it's fluffy, it's really, really nice.
yeah.
What's carapalis?
All right. Lulled me into a false sense of
Yeah,
security there.
absolutely, absolutely. But it has got a really, which when we get to choose your fighter, I think it'll be interesting to talk about.
Right. So carapalis is a
Hang on, hang on.
specialized. Carapalis is a specialized dextrin malt used by brewers to improve foam stability, enhance body, and boost the mouthfeel, without significantly altering beer color or flavor.
Now you've said
That's what
it, and
carapalis
it was
is.
going to be something I mentioned earlier. We poured it. I'm in a stemmed tulip glass. Follow him out on Beer Tasting
Mhm.
123 to understand more about glassware, beer variety. He's not doing squash glasses. That head stays
Yeah.
a lot more than. If you're not watching one of the videos on this one, then me waving the glass at the camera at this point in
Isn't
time is
going to help,
completely
mate. No.
pointless. But it is definitely holding that head better, and it is a creamier looking head with a bit more life to it.
Yeah.
And you've spoken
It is.
before on Beer Tasting 123 about the importance of head. No giggling required. The importance of head on your beer.
You're
And
only
the...
just about keeping it together, aren't you?
Sorry, I'm perfectly sensible. I'm a fully grown adult male. But the importance of head and how that imparts different
Yeah.
flavours and textures into your mouth. And we spoke about Faith by Northern Monk and the
Yes.
washing up liquid head that it
Yeah.
had. This really does give a full-bodied flavour. Food! We're 13 minutes in and we've not mentioned food
Oh,
once.
not mentioned food. That's no good. Food, spicy Asian food, things like Vietnamese summer rolls, green Thai curry. If it is curries, then it would be things like the creamier ones, I would say.
Yeah.
Um, that hop character cools chili heat
Yeah.
without the bitterness of it breaking, your taste buds, as it were. Fish and seafood, grilled prawns, fish tacos, as always.
Hey! I tell you
So
what,
it's
what's
got
interesting
a soft carbonization.
yeah,
That
what's
kind of
interesting for me,
goes with that.
what's interesting for me because of that, I'm going to say creamier, but that's not the word I mean. Fuller mouthfeel. Again, hands
Mhm.
on the non-video podcast, totally pointless, but I currently look like I'm massaging some sort of stress ball. It'll do a lot better than, say, the neck oils or the I can do better for Tesco's for a quid with salty food because that foam, that creaminess would absorb that salt. So a salty cheeseburger. We've talked about halloumi and your great way of cooking it by soaking it in boiling water for a few minutes before you cook it. This would dial those salt flavors down and pick the food stuff up a lot more. And I think that's because of the
anything salty, but
carapils.
not fatty. I wouldn't go
No,
with
not
fatty
fatty.
foods.
No, absolutely not fatty. But say a salty
because it would
cheeseburger with
take
a
the
strong
taste out.
salty cheddar on top of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Soft, tangy cheeses, goat's cheese, things like that. Jerk chicken, anything with a fruit based glaze.
I'm absolutely fascinated by the idea that this is a different Steady Rolling Man.
Can be. It may not be. It might come out the same batch. But if
No,
the
no, no, sorry.
different
This is a different one. So
batches
this
have
was
different things.
produced in June this year. So
Yeah.
19th of June 2026. It was canned
Yeah.
on. If I was to buy one that was canned on, I don't know, October, I can't obviously compare them because I've drunk this one.
Yeah.
I could have a different experience or a different flavour.
You could have a different beer. Yeah. I love the idea of it. I saw, who did that the other day? I was reading something about another beer that I hopefully I'll be tasting soon enough. And again, the beer changes. The hops change. They don't change with the season so much, but they change because they want a slightly different taste. I know from drinking in my local where they do brew their own beer, there is a specific beer that I drink, and it can change colour, and it can change taste every couple of weeks. You know, I've got a different beer. I'm tasting.
And without becoming 2 episodes in a row where we harangue commercial mass scale brewing, if you are growing your own vegetables, potatoes, whatever you grow, you are growing different potatoes throughout the years. The ones I've got in the sacks in the garden at the moment will be very different to the ones I planted in February. That came out nice, small, neat. These are going to be bigger, fuller flavours. So I guess you're right. And if you dry something, you get a different flavour. Dried thyme compared to fresh thyme is incredibly different when we're talking about cooking. So if you're producing this year round, your hops are going to change anyway, because unless you're using the hop pellets, which we tried, and that produces a consistency. Even over the years, those hops are going to be different. Hotter, sunnier year this year than last year, for example. You're going to get, I don't know what difference it makes on hops. I should really look it up before I start making a statement glibly. But I imagine if your corn yield is going to be different in a hot, sunny weather to the floods we had last year or whatever, the hops are going to be the same. Yeah. I know the tomatoes I'm growing this year are half the size of the ones last year. Having a hosepipe ban is somewhat limiting how much I can water them. But again, they're more intense in flavour, but they're really, really, really rich and robust in taste. Tastes a lot more like European tomatoes than perhaps a British tomato does.
And also because we're getting the sun and the heat. The heat really works for that.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting to understand.
It's the same. It's very different.
Whether our hops are evolving. So whether in Kent, which was the home of the hop in the UK probably still is for a long period of time, now it's getting hotter and hotter. Whether we're seeing different hops growing, whether the Goldings or the Fuggles or whatever have stopped being as prevalent. I don't know the answer. It's a question for conversation.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that I know if you take the grapes, the grape varieties in France and the wine in France now, they're having to move. They're moving vineyards. There are big swathes of the UK being bought up by French vineyards because they anticipate the heat. It's going to get hotter in the UK. Yeah,
and the awful fires around Bordeaux that they've seen recently, and down in Spain. We had an amazing trip to Bordeaux with Saint-Emilion beers. We meant to go to Bordeaux that time. Lyon, we didn't mean to go to.
That was the one we didn't mean to go to Lyon. We went to go to Bordeaux at that point. Yeah. But the second time we meant to go to Bordeaux because we were meaning to go to Bordeaux. Which was great. The wine museum and, some cool places.
Travelling around Saint-Emilion, we stayed on a Airbnb barge in the middle of the docks, which was brilliant. Such good fun. But the idea that now is dry, and looking at the details for Saint-Emilion and the wines coming through there, they're actually not as good because it's too hot now.
Yeah, exactly. And they're starting to change. So
that's where we went on a Segway tour with my wife.
We went on a Segway tour. That was
and my wife is brilliant, but she could not work out how to stop. So every time we sort of get to like a vintner's hut where they stop, they used to manually. Obviously, they claim they still do, but the hut was so fallen over, I can't believe they do. They used to check every single vine for aphids and everything else by hand, and then they'd have a little hut halfway through the vineyard where they'd stop and rest for the night and wake up in the morning and crack on. So we stopped, a little circle of 6 of us or 8 of us. No, actually, no, it was 5 of us. There's meant to be 6. 5 of us stopped by the vintner's hut as they told the story, and my wife was just coming through, sorry, can't stop! Coming through!
It was. And even when she's managed to stop, she kept going around in circles.
It
was funny.
Well, I won't tell her this episode's out till well after the series is over, and she may forgive us by then. Back to the beer. So is Steady Rolling Man really Britain's best beer? Or
I
is
don't
it?
know. I think it was of the beers that were signing for the festival.
Okay,
I think they were all there, but yeah, I think it's definitely a very good beer,
it is.
but of its type. You know, it's not a British bitter. I think there are equally as
That
good bitters out there. I think, you know, there are a lot of different types of beer, and I think each one has its own champion.
Yeah.
And to name one above all of them is I find a
That
little bit.
brings me to another question, because actually, when I read this out at the start of the episode, I said it's a pale ale, 5.2% pale ale. It's
Mhm.
not classing itself as a NEPA or an IPA,
It's not an
but
IPA. It's pale ale,
but
but they
it's
have the
that.
similar characteristics, but they're
I
not
was
the
going to
same.
say, but it's that boundary now has become a lot more blurred. 20 years ago, comfortably, this would have been sold as an American IPA.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's a core
Well,
strength pale.
American pale ale, so an APA,
Yeah.
rather than a IPA,
So
which
this is a
is
BAPA.
yeah.
I don't know.
It's a pale ale rather than a um IPA, which there is
You think about,
there's a little bit of difference.
but if you compare this to, again, Camden Pale
Yeah.
or any of the other pale ales out there, they don't tend to be this hazy normally.
No, no, but this one is because of the soft mouthfeel
So
and
what do you
the
call it? A
all
hazy
the
pale
bits in it.
ale? I think for
Maybe a hazy
people
pale
who,
ale. I think
yeah,
if you can get caught up on all of that. I think there's a lot of, you know, hazies are. You know, a pale ale, a proper pale ale. Back in the day when we were in the pubs,
hmm
there was maybe one or two pale
yeah,
ales. They'd gone out of fashion.
yeah,
No one really stopped them. You might get it. You might get someone in to get a pint of light and bitter, or a pale ale and bitter mix, or you
yeah,
might have you know, and light ales as well. All of those different types that have gone by the board, and then beer industries has now kind of repurposed them,
hmm
repurposed the name almost. So, you know, I remember having a pale ale, and it was just a lighter bitter,
yeah.
whereas this isn't. This is its own thing.
Yeah, and it's interesting. We're doing sumo next week. The beer we started practicing on is the beer we're going to finish the series on. By Mad Squirrel. That's a hazy pale ale as well. Next series, we will map out this journey far clearer, so we have a few more. Hey, we've done sours, we've done fruit beers, we've done stouts,
We have.
done NEPAs, we've done hazy pales, we've done standard pales, we're doing pretty well at mixing them up for 20 episodes. Well, 20 and a
Yeah.
half with the birthday special. That's still out there. Never mind. And
Causing its hell. It's
I was
own
reflecting on
issues.
our journey of this series, and it's been really interesting. We talked last week about the different Choose Your Fighter champions we have, and we've got a brand new one in. I could get better at Tesco for a quid. We should only. I'm going to add a fourth category of, has it got a one-word title?
Yeah.
That makes life a lot easier. The journey we've been on, the Williams Brothers beers, the neck oil, the story of that. We had a really good conversation about Brewdog, and it's interesting to see how their fight is changing by the end of this series with their new
Yeah,
director of operations
I
and
had
everything else.
I had an email from I think the James Watt is
Yeah,
looking to
come back. Yep,
come back, buy the company back out for, you know, sell it for millions and buy it
and
for a
buy it for
quid.
£2.80.
Um,
Yeah,
but hey, good luck to him. But also, he's going to say he's setting up a new business or
yeah,
new brewery, and he's offering all of the equity punks, the people that like me bought a couple of £100 worth or however many pounds
yeah.
worth they put in, um, their shares back with
Wow.
the same options of being able to get discounts and all of the other things. So yeah, he's starting to, maybe he's trying to buy the love, but of what I see so far, As long as the beer's good, we're good. I'm happy.
We talked about this several times with local pubs, with bottle shops, with the craft beer tap rooms. That it's about having a community. It's about having more than just being a Brummie in a flat cap. It's about more, and there's nothing wrong with Brummies in a flat cap. It's Brummies tend to be Spanish in a flat cap. We have an issue with. Yeah. It's before I get absolutely slated by everybody who's ever liked Peaky Blinders. I'm not talking about that.
People from Birmingham. You're talking about.
I'm talking about pseudo Brummies. Birmingham's a fantastic place.
Spanish.
Lots of lovely people. Spain's a lovely place. They don't need to merge and try and create a Branyard. That's stupid. Yeah. I've lost myself covering myself from being attacked next time I'm at Birmingham New Street Station.
Let's cut that bit out. You'll be all
right. It's a lot quicker to leave it in when I'm doing the editing now. It's about having these businesses with their tap rooms, with their style, with their ethos, where you kind of think, hey, I can be part of their tribe, but I can be part of that tribe, but I feel I belong. And the better your local pub, your one near you, which we should name, to be fair, because it is a great business. They get you involved. They have other beers there. But they also, as you move from their main bar to the taproom bar, they've purely focused on their stuff, house party or whatever it is.
No, house party is the Lervig, but yeah, it's the so it's the Three Wise Monkeys in Colchester. They have the Other Monkey Brewing, which has its own tap room on site. If you go into the tap room, it's predominantly their own beer. They have the odd guest. It's predominantly Other Monkey Brewing beer on draft, and it's kind of my spiritual home. I love it in there. I love it. It's a fantastic bar. But they have lots of different beers, which is great. I love to see.
And I guess my point was the pub back in the days was the heart of the community, and it should always fulfill that role. But if you're going somewhere because you also enjoy great food or great beer or great something, define that community more closely. So Mitchell & Butler, fantastic beer company, a pub company out there, wide variety of outlets that just fulfill every need. They have craft beer pubs for people to go to and sit there and enjoy. They also have the sports pubs where you can drink Madry and Peroni and Carlsberg all night long and enjoy yourself, because you're not there for the beer. Find your spiritual home, and if it is beer, don't always be afraid to try somewhere new, because you will find your new tribe, and that may be a bottle shop, might be a little community pub, whatever. High horse rested.
Yeah, you do that. That's good. Give him a bag of oats. It'll be all right. Yeah, I took my good wife yesterday into a bar that you will know that she refuses to go into all the time because it's close to somewhere else that we may or may not talk about later on in the year. But yeah, so I took her in there. She was appalled by the whole situation. I love my wife, but she is a little bit. I'm a beer snob, and I am a little, but she's just terrible. She was in there.
It's amazing that Stringfellow still sells beer.
Yeah, no, terrible.
So choose your fighter. We've chatted on about all sorts of stuff with this. DEYA Steady Rolling Man is currently against. I could get better at Tesco for a quid.
Quid, yeah.
We talk about drinkability. I have my opinion. Shall I lead?
You lead.
I find I could get better at Tesco for a quid is more drinkable than this. This has that means I couldn't have more complex flavours. It means I wouldn't want more than one or two.
Totally agree with you. I think it's a much more complex beer.
Yeah.
I think to say it's a better beer is very subjective, but I think it's got more moving parts to it.
Yeah.
And that's why technically it's a fantastic beer.
Yeah.
You're right. But I could drink, as a easy drinking beer. If that's what I want, then I want the other one.
Yeah. So we have drinkability. So you've then jumped to character and filled that in. I agree. DEYA has more character, more about it. There's a story to it. There was a story to the I could get better at Tesco for a quid with the charity stuff. But that's more about. Actually, no, because DEYA's got the story about it changing, it being an ever different beer. this has more. This has a little bit more, to your point, complexity, a little bit more story to it, a little bit more to tell you than I. So, that means it's number 2 is that one. So number 3, which we don't even define anymore, we've given up, is just a random. I think last week we referred to it as like Argentina at the World Cup, just a random reason to let something win
or not win, as the case may be.
Win or not win. It's tough.
I don't know. I just think this is one of the hardest we've had for a long time.
Yeah, I mean,
because
7 giraffes on for 5 weeks.
I think if you build in the technical, DEYA wins for me. But if you, because it's just technically a good beer. I mean, it's a complex. It's easy. It's complex. I think the complexity of that drink, where you like, you're right. You won't drink it all night, but you probably have 3 or 4 of them.
Don't know. Interesting. And I will correct myself because I did say it's a 440ml can in the intro. It's a 500ml can. I've had enough of it. Would I open another one, or would I move on to something else? I know what we do. What else I have? I have a bottle of 7 Giraffe downstairs. Wouldn't open that. I also have a bottle of the Williams Brothers Jolly Joker IPA downstairs. I'll open that rather than this.
That will strip. That will take you back.
I think I have an issue with the pillowiness, which you enjoy, but for me makes me want to rub my mouth and clear it.
Okay. No, I get that. So, I understand that.
So for that reason,
I think this one is we're on the fence then.
Yeah. I don't know what happens.
Winner stays on.
I was told off last week for calling it second to last, and pointed out it's called penultimate. There is a word for it. There's a word for him too, but I'm not allowed to use it on the air.
You can, but you have to press the explicit button again.
So, I'm tied, and if we're doing tied, then winner stays on. So, going into the final episode, which is the last one of the series, just so we both win, I could get better at Tesco for a quid. Stays on as choose your fighter.
Well, it's also nice that it stays on because just see your face every time you've got to actually say it again.
Yeah, thanks, mate. So from a Robert Johnson blues song recorded in 1930 to DEYA's first ever brew, the flagship pale ale and one of Britain's most celebrated beers, Steady Rolling Man has done exactly what the name promised. It kept rolling. Couldn't quite roll over I could get better at Tesco for a quid, but gave it a damn good go. So whether it's actually Britain's best beer is still up for debate, but it's very difficult to argue it's not earned its place there at all. We're going to be back next week, and you will know what we're tasting because we've been telling you for the last 5 weeks. It's one of our favourites. It's from a local brewery to me. We practiced, which I know none of you can believe. We practiced on this beer. We got the day right because of the beer. We got the format right because of the beer. We'll be back next week to see whether that one will earn its place as Choose Your Fighter, or whether I Could Get Better at Tesco for a Quid will be a name I have to remember into Series 2. Until then, keep drinking good or great beer together. His name is Matt.
And he is Elton.
And we are Beer Together. We'll see you for one more episode for this series next week.